I'll never forget the moment I realized something in our marriage had shifted irreversibly. I was scrolling through my phone on the couch when I saw it. A message from her sent to someone I didn't know. It wasn't explicit at first glance, just a teasing comment. "I can't believe he thinks that's funny. He's such a joke." My stomach dropped. At first, I tried to dismiss it. Maybe it wasn't about me. Maybe I was overreacting. But then I remembered the last few weeks. The little things that didn't add up. She had been distant, quieter than usual, and sometimes I'd catch her laughing at her phone in ways that felt secretive. Missed calls she brushed off as work emergencies. Late nights she insisted were just errands. Small cracks that I told myself weren't real. I started noticing patterns. She would subtly avoid eye contact when I walked into the room. Her phone would be face down, vibrating silently, and she'd fumble to silence it if I reached for it. Little gestures I once ignored now gnawed at me. My mind spun, questioning everything. Am I imagining things? Am I too sensitive? Am I losing touch with reality? It all came to a head one evening at a friend's dinner. We were laughing over wine, the kind of easy conversation we used to have at home, when she made a comment that stopped me cold. She looked at me with that mischievous, almost cruel grin and said, loud enough for the table to hear, "Honestly, sometimes I can't believe how clueless he is. It's kind of funny." The words fell like a punch to the chest. I froze, my hands tightening around the glass, my heart pounding. I wanted to yell, to defend myself, to demand some shred of respect. But I didn't. I stayed completely silent. The silence wasn't weakness. It was a choice that seared her words into the air, let her see the weight of their impact without giving her the satisfaction of a reaction. Around us, the laughter and chatter continued, oblivious to the storm inside me. I could feel every eye on me, even if they didn't know why I was quiet. That night, I replayed memories in my mind, each one tinged with betrayal. The small jokes she made at my expense, the way she'd roll her eyes at my ideas, the times she laughed when I wasn't paying attention. They all suddenly felt like pieces of a puzzle I hadn't wanted to see. Each memory cut a little deeper. When we got home, I confronted her gently, trying to separate the facts from my emotions. "Why did you say that in front of everyone?" I asked, my voice calm but trembling underneath. She hesitated, eyes dropping, fingers fidgeting. "I don't know," she murmured. Sometimes I can't help myself. It's not that I don't respect you. Sometimes it's easier to joke than to deal with things." Her explanation fell hollow, but I understood the nuance. I understood the complexity of human flaws. Still, it didn't erase the hurt. I realized then that respect isn't always about grand gestures. It's in the small choices, the little words, the ways we show care when no one is watching. The days afterward were quiet, but heavy. I reflected on what I wanted, what I deserved, and what I could forgive. I thought about the love that had been there, the trust that had frayed, and the path forward. I couldn't ignore the sting of mockery, the subtle betrayal. It lingered, and I had to honor that pain. Eventually, we talked openly, no masks, no half-truths. She admitted that her words had been cruel, a misguided way to cope with her own insecurities, and expressed genuine remorse. I listened, absorbing her perspective without invalidating my own feelings. For the first time, we saw each other clearly, flaws, regrets, and all. I made a choice not to punish, but to protect myself. I chose boundaries, honesty, and quiet strength. I learned that silence could be more powerful than confrontation when wielded with intention, and that self-respect sometimes meant walking carefully through pain without losing yourself. Months later, I still remember the sting of her words, but I also remember the calm I maintained, the clarity I gained, and the quiet dignity I reclaimed. I didn't need to humiliate her in return. I didn't need a dramatic confrontation. The silence spoke volumes. Sometimes, in the quiet moments, I still think about that dinner. I feel the pain, yes, but I also feel a profound sense of self-awareness and resilience. I learned that love isn't always enough when trust falters, and that strength can be found in the choice to stay composed, even when your world feels like it's collapsing. And in that silence, I discovered something enduring. My worth didn't depend on her words or actions. It depended on how I treated myself, even in the face of betrayal.